Good morning. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Eshwin. You look gorgeous.
Looking bright. And I know I've already seen your Insta. You've had been exercising out in the nature and done all the good things this morning.
You know
So,
what I did? I jogged. I jogged this morning. Not a proper jog, but just a jog. I did a little video
wow,
of it, which I will share as part of my coming up to 4 months. I'll be coming up to 4 months on yeah, just under 10 days, about a week. Yeah, so that's
that's
pretty exciting what I'm
inspirational.
able to do now 4 months later. Anyway, let's
Mhm.
begin.
Inspirational. I love it. So today we are talking about arthritis, and as usual, I'll start with the chanting, and we'll move on to you for the intention of the topic today, and then we'll go ahead. So, Gopika Smanam Govinda, Govinda, Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Hari. Thank you.
Beautiful. Before I go into the intention, I just thought that might be of interest to people and to myself. The first part of your chant, what does that roughly translate as? I understand the Hare Krishna prayer, but the first part, what is that saying or calling or you know?
Oh, when I say Gopika Smanam,
Mhm.
yeah, that is like we bow down to the Gopikas were the biggest devotees of Lord Krishna when he was on earth. So and if you know about Vrindavan and Gopikas they were the biggest devotees. So we surrender to them because we obviously want the similar devotion. And then we also prostrate to our guru, our spiritual master, before the chant. And yeah, so that
Interesting.
is what it means. And we take blessings from both.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think that leads really nicely into intention because and belief and hope. So that when whether you believe in Hare Krishna or whether you don't believe in anything, that's still a belief there. And so as an intention, a part, not just belief, but hope. Hope is a really important aspect of any part of life, living a life of joy, recovering from illness, or mental or physical illness. There needs to be an element of hope and complementary holistic medicine is just that. It's complementary. It helps to give you some hope that perhaps mainstream doctors don't always give you. So in my own example, as we were just talking about the hip, my surgeon was very on hope. Like this is what's going to happen. You're never going to be able to do this. Don't do that. Got very angry at me. He was just don't even think about, just be grateful you can walk. And I was just like, whoa, like I'd like to be hopeful that I can do better than that. And
Of course.
I had a pretty good sort of attitude for it. However, that wasn't overly helpful, and so it got me thinking about hope and complementary medicines and things. And it's a hope can't do any harm unless you attach expectation to it. Hope has, in many studies, proven to help people, whatever your illness, to alleviate it in some way. So I just want to leave people with the intention of thinking about hope and being open to feelings of belief and hope and meditation and complementary everything. It's not going to do any harm as long as you're just doing it with intention. And sorry, I'm really starting to ramble. Let me forget. The intention today is
You're
hope.
doing good.
The intention is remain hopeful with no
Oh,
attachment to the outcome. Remain hopeful. There we go. That's short. Now,
thank you.
do you want to start? We're talking about arthritis, which interestingly, there's a series in yoga, an ancient sequence, which is called Pawanmuktasana, and it's actually designed very much for rheumatoid arthritis. So it's interesting that that has been around for a really long time. I didn't know if you had
Yeah.
something you wanted to start with.
So I think, the when we use the word arthritis, like we have to there's not only one type of arthritis, there's lots of different types of arthritis, and these all arthritis could mean like they're different and they're caused by different things. So, like we have osteoarthritis, which is very common, which is mainly the ones that we see because it's the ones with the joints, where the joints are affected and inflamed. So arthritis normally means inflammation of the joints. And then we have rheumatoid arthritis, which is more sort of like it's more your immune based, where your immune system is attacking you and you get inflammation. And a lot of the times it's genetic related. And then there's one related to psoriasis. Then we also have gout, which is sort of an arthritis as well. There's some arthritis in fibromyalgia, myalgia. So there's different types of arthritis, and I think for the purpose of today, a lot of you can divert like and explain some of them will like come across where they will sort of subset, where for osteoarthritis you need some painkillers as well. For gout you need some painkillers as well. For rheumatoid arthritis you need some pain medications as well, or the exercises could be the same as well, where they will but yeah, I think the main one today would be because with the cold weather and everything, I think a lot of people at the moment will be having some sort of pain, stiffness in the joints, and so we'll work from there. So we'll work on that. And coming to that, I think if anyone is waking up with stiffness and pain, so I'm sure Sam can talk about some exercise and moves to warm us up and get going.
Yeah, absolutely. The movement is so important, and you don't want to move because you're hurting. Then if you move too much, it hurts some more. And so that puts a lot of people off when they think, they're told to go out and do their walking and stuff, and then they overdo it and then they're in more pain. They say that doesn't work. So it's really important that you get to know your own body and keep moving, because if you move it, if you what is it? If you don't lose it or move
Yeah,
it or lose
you
it.
need to, yeah, you
You
move
move
it or
it
you
or
lose it.
move it or use it or lose it. That's it. Use it or lose it. And it's absolutely true. Like the more you stop moving, the more you will stop moving. And so it just also reminded me of a conversation we were having. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago maybe, where you said when you wake up in the morning, you just like off. Like if I'm feeling anything that's
It was in one of the videos.
yeah, is that in one of the videos? Yeah, like, just get it
Yeah,
off
one of
me.
the videos. Yeah, that's right. To
It's
get rid of the pain.
it's um intentional wise, that's a similar approach, because if you wake up and you're like, oh, this hurts, that's stiff, that's sore, oh my God, I can't move, I can't walk, I can't, no, there's so much pain in it. That dialogue, which is true, is not helping. Like, yes, you are feeling pain and you are stiff and you are hurting, but you're hurting yourself more with the dialogue of this pain. So I really love the way that you wake up and you just, oh no, no, go away, go away. And then you start moving. And there's I to keep
Agree.
some sort of brevity to this. So because as you and I know, there's so much we could talk about on every subject, and we're trying to keep these fairly small. I would just focus really on Pawanmuktasana series, which is moving every single joint of the body. So not just the joint movement, but the internal dialogue, the movement of the joints, and then I'd maybe add more hope, and natural anti-inflammatories, because you will talk about the pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories. So there's natural sorts of anti-inflammatories that people can try. Things haven't always worked for me. Like a lot of people swear by turmeric. Turmeric's not a thing for me. And then there's the other I'm not sure what it's called, but it's recommended by the Arthritis Association on the website. Also not so great for me. But Eva, you work out on what works for you. Just because someone tells you it worked for them, and that's the same with medication and doctors and everything. If it worked for them, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So you keep working out what works for you and get to know your own body. So with the Pawanmuktasana series, again, like I was saying, if this were your toes, you start with your toes and you breathe in and you spread the toes really wide and then close them. In, out with the toes, in, out, and then flex the feet up, down. So now we're focusing on the ankle joint. So the ankle joint and then rotating, then you come up to all the way up to, so basically every joint of the body. And then you come up to the knee, which is like the elbow joint, it's a hinge joint. So it goes back and forth. So the knee goes back and forth. People like to circle around the knee. The knee's not designed, nor is the elbow designed to circle, but in attempting to, you can get some more blood flow. Like you can sort of circle your knee around, but it's not, it's a hinge joint. And then up to the hips. And that is the same as the shoulder, designed to circle around. So basically you're circling and moving every joint from the toes all the way up. You get up to the elbows, to the wrists, to the fingers. And your Pawanmuktasana is wind relieving pose. So you're taking the wind out of the joints. So every movement is going to move energy through the body and relieve stuck sort of air in the joint. So it goes all the way up to the neck and the head and moving around so that the whole body gains energy, some pain relief, some movement, and it's just about anyone can do it. It doesn't matter, if it's rheumatoid arthritis or what do you call osteoarthritis. It's very gentle, and you can just sit in a chair and you can just go through the whole body and you're breathing, and then you're breathing and doing mindful movement, which is then calming the nervous system, and you're feeling hopeful because you're maybe a little bit pain-free. You're moving a bit more. You're blah 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 blah. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah.
Because
No,
yeah.
that is awesome. Like that, I agree with that. Like I just think a little bit of movement and trying to move everything. It just helps. Like not only with the joints, like that might increase your blood flow and sort of wake you up as well in be ready for the day as well. I think that is marvelous. I forget that sometimes as well until I start getting stiff and I start getting some sort of pain. Then I start trying to move it, but then I could have done it before and then not got to the stage of any pain or stiffness. But Sam, that's amazing, and hopefully the viewers can take something from there, and we could do that.
I also think sorry.
When you're
Go. Sorry.
it's okay. So with the pain management, I also think it's important to like I think a lot of these things will also depend on the intensity of the pain and the duration of the pain as well. So pain can be two types, like where there's acute pain, where you've not had that pain ever, but maybe you went for a long walk or you did something at home, you were cleaning or something. And then, you have woken up with some sort of pain. So that is acute pain. And, we can just treat it like that. Chronic pain is where, you have this pain which just continues and persists for over 3 months. And these are the problem ones, like really, where, more needs to be done, because the acute pain, it's just like, it's there for an instance, and, you might be able to relieve it with some over-the-counter analgesics and things that you get. And location of the pain. So, location of the pain in the way that is the pain just in one shoulder? or is it like in both shoulders, or is it all over the body? Because if it's just one spot, there might be things that you could use, like this is more like from my point of view. There might be exercises as well, but you could do a little massage. You could use what we call topical creams and gels. So there's anti-inflammatory gels and things that you can use. Some people use heat rubs. So if the location is not so, it's like a spot, then you would be able to do that. There's patches as well, like you can do the patches as well. Yeah, go on, Sam.
Did you say heat drops? Heat
No,
drops?
no, no, heat rubs,
Oh, okay.
like a,
So
like a
that made me think
medical.
of the heat packs, which are very, the wheat pack, your heat pack, and I just visited a lady the other day, and she's actually, I'd only just heard of this product, so I had to share it. It's a heat pack that you plug in, and it stays hot for 6 hours. So I thought that was really amazing, and so yeah, the self massage, the heating, and it just made me think of it. There's other things like ginger compress and um, sorry, you go back. I'm super
No,
scattered today.
no, that's all right. I think our intention also is to have like a conversation where we both can, stop and talk and make it into a chat. So and with also with the pain management, we also have to think, if the pain is relieved by some sort of activity, like if you're making a movement and that's relieving it, so that would be good, and also if the pain is affected by some sort of activity, so you don't want to continue doing that because that's obviously causing you more pain. Also, is the pain impacting on other things on your lifestyle? So, is it impacting on your sleep or impacting on your appetite? So, there's a lot of things that we look at when we are managing the pain. And as a pharmacist, when somebody comes for pain medications to us, like in the pharmacy, we would like to know what sort of other medical conditions you have, because not all the medications can be taken. Like there's interactions with medical conditions, and maybe you are taking different medications, so you can't take other painkillers. Because a lot of the times what also happens is people will talk about pain to each other, they Google it, and then they just come up with something, and we face this every time in the community pharmacies. And then they will just come in with the name, so they come in, oh, I want the Voltaren. Oh, and they expect you to just pick up the Voltaren and give it to them, when, like really, as a pharmacist, we have a responsibility that you use that medication safely and effectively. So we do need to talk to you, and we need to know, your medical conditions, where the pain is, how long you have had the pain, so that we know if that medication will be appropriate for you. So, I think my message there is that if you are going into the pharmacy for, asking for pain medications, do speak to the pharmacist, and they're not there to they don't ask these questions for themselves. They're there to help you. So yeah, please use that service.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it's a great in between the doctor, pharmacist, patient. People think, I'll just go and get my drugs, and then the pharmacist asks you all these questions, and you're sort of like, why? The doctor's already given me this, and I can totally attest to what you're saying. That it's been the pharmacist that has caught this interacts with something else you're on, right? And I've had interactions, and I've had my mother-in-law had a really bad interaction once as well, and it's the pharmacist that generally, through asking questions, asking what else you're on, can really help you avoid having one of those interactions. So yeah, I think that's great. And I also wanted to add to that, we're trying to take a natural approach wherever possible. However, if you're in so much pain, like that acute pain, you cannot move. So that's when you need to go take the pain relief so that you can actually move, because movement is essential. And that was the same with recovering from my hip. But I had to take a certain amount of the painkiller at the beginning so that I would actually move, rather than sit there going, oh no, it's too painful. So there's that fine line of taking what you need to move and then also not taking too much and then interacting. And again, like when you mentioned before, watching if something, do it, some type of activity aggravated you, not always just thinking, oh, well, I'm never going to do that again, because I feel like that's what generally happens. A lot of people go, oh, I did this and it hurt. And it's like, well, you could have a day where you're in more pain. You might have done it a little bit too much. You may just need to back, most of the time, you can just back off and do something very gently and then build up, and you'll know if that is causing the pain. It's generally the lack of body awareness and just assuming, oh, I did something, some exercise that made me, in more pain. So that's it. I'm not going to do that anymore. So it's actually, how
Yes.
about let's really get into the body, really take your time doing things, especially when you're in pain, and just see, is it actually really the cause of the pain, or was it the fact that you weren't very aware and you didn't take your time and you didn't give it enough time? I feel like a lot of people give up on, oh, I'd exercised for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and it didn't help. Well, maybe it's winter and you're more stiff and you're in more pain, or or you went too hard, and it's something that you've got to build up to do over time to become part of your life. It's a lifestyle. Moving is something that we all have to do in order to stay
I
on.
agree.
Yep.
I agree. And I was also thinking, Sam, so, with the pains, I think breathing can be useful as well. Like, if there is
Yeah.
nothing available and you can't move, and, so,
I have some
I think,
lovely stories often where, I touch old students reach out and say, oh, that one breathing technique, it really helped me through this or this. And just more recently, one of my students from another location crashed her car, broke her sternum. And so that's really painful for breathing. It also aggravated her back. She was in so much pain, and she's like, I'm out for a while. And I'm like, I'm, really sorry to hear. But she said, she just sent me a message recently, and she said, I just want to let you know that I've been doing the box breathing and it's been helping me with pain. And I was just like, wow, because I wouldn't have thought, while she's in that early stage of so much pain, to suggest even that she start doing something like box breathing, holding her breath, holding it out, because there is a little bit of effort involved in that. But clearly she did it carefully, and it actually has been helping her with her pain. And I was just like, that's amazing. I mean, there's so many amazing things happen, which is probably why I'm a bit speedy today, because I'm a bit excited about the amazing progress that I've been having in my own body, because if you don't attach yourself to the goal and you're just hopeful that you just have hope, and you exercise without too much, fear or attachment to the outcome, all of a sudden you'll find yourself, oh wow, look at me, I'm feeling a lot better, or I can do this now and I can do that. It's yeah, sustained.
your recovery has been inspirational, Sam. Like, your recovery from the hip replacement, like, I'm just, it's just amazing to see how well you have recovered, and how well you did everything during the thing as well. Like, I remember seeing you in the hospital, like, you were so positive. Like anyone else in your situation, I can imagine it might have been a little different.
Yeah, I wasn't
But,
positive all the time, but like, yeah, I just kept on, you have your tears
yeah, you
and then you have,
remain
yeah,
positive. It
yeah,
was amazing.
thank
And
you. Thank
uh,
you.
and that is very inspirational in my own self. And yeah, and when we are talking about breathing, I also went through a major surgery a few years ago, and I remember the doctors could not manage me with the opioids and things that they want to give you after surgery and all that. And well, breathing was what I relied on as well, until they sorted themselves out, or until I sort of directed them what to prescribe.
Yeah.
But yes, so I totally believe in that breathing technique, and I always use it, like every time, like, if I'm in pain, or if I'm anxious about something, or if I can't make a decision. I think, though this topic is not on breathing, but I think breathing is really relevant to pain management, and especially for the chronic pain sufferers, like who have the chronic pain, which is like always there, and they have to get through the day with it. Maybe if they bring breathing as an important part of the day, um, it might be
I
good for
think
them.
I think every topic we talk about, breathing, nutrition, sleep, movement, and positive mindset is it works, it contributes with everything we're talking about. Yeah.
I think, and the idea was that as well. Like when we started doing fusion wellness, I think, the idea was that, a lot of the times these are the important things that we should be doing regularly that we forget.
Mm.
And, we sort of, because there's easier paths or there's paths that people are more aware of because there's more advertisement and things around that. So we
Yeah.
go towards that. But yeah, so,
Look, we're human, right? If someone said, I'll give you a pill and it's going to take all your pain away, or it's going to make you lose weight, or it's going to do this, and naturally we all want to go for the shortcut. Yeah, I'm here, so sorry to say, there really aren't any shortcuts in life. I mean, maybe if you're uber rich and you can, but even then, we're human. This is a human vessel. We want to look after it as best you can, and the mindset is a huge, huge part of that. You look after yourself, look after your mind, and we're probably
yeah.
getting towards the end of this, aren't we?
That's right. Like we are, like, so we don't have much time left now, but hopefully, we have good take-home messages. So, if you are in pain, and we can do some movements, and
Yep. And in the detailed description of the word Pawanmuktasana series, you don't need a yoga teacher. You can look it up and follow it and do it online and just start moving. Even if you're someone who learns just from listening to this, you could just do it without following along. But we'll put the name in the description. You can search it and start.
yeah. And if you need more than that, please talk to your pharmacist, your local pharmacist, and yeah, all the best. And thank you to listening to us. And thank you, Sam.
Thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share a comment. If you disagree, agree, have a different suggestion, we want to hear it. We're here to get information out and for people to share their information. No one's knows everything, and we can all sort of help one another through connecting, communicating, and sharing. So thank you. You should subscribe. Subscribe wherever the button is. All right. Bye.
Bye.